Okay, I'm kind of enjoying the mess now. Welcome back to the Miscellaneous channel where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Zalini. I typically cover TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things on this channel, so subscribe if that's your vibe. Love is Blind Mexico has had its shocking finale. After editing my video covering episodes 1 through 8 of Love is Blind Mexico, I think I found a new appreciation for how messy this season is. Like I said, I do think this is the most poorly produced franchise in Love is Blind history so far. I have not seen Love is Blind Sweden, but I have seen Japan and Brazil. And UK now. Just compared to all of them, the production value on Mexico is just really lacking, among other things. So it has not been my favorite, but I think the mess has made it fun. I think after getting all my frustrations out in my first video, I was able to just enjoy the mess of the ride of the ending to this season. And boy, was it wild. So in this video, I want to discuss episodes 9 and 10, which cover the bachelor and bachelorette parties and weddings of Love is Blind Mexico. There's also a bonus episode that is showing on Netflix that is releasing a couple days after the finale. So at the end of this video, I will add my review of that. So these episodes were explosive, and we saw some of that in the teaser for sure. My pink and purple haired girl came back for the bachelorette parties. That was awesome. And we're gonna start with our first couple, Fernanda and Gerardo, and they do not even make it to the altar, which I was pretty shocked by just because they seemed really solid for a lot of moments, especially when they would meet each other's families. They seemed really solid, but they did have rocky moments and a big fight in these episodes that there was no coming back from. She literally arrives to the bachelorette party already in a mood with Gerardo and complaining to the other girls. She's still hung up on the meat from the carne asada the first night or whatever it was. He was making the carne asada. I remember when everyone gathered and Karen and Irais had their fight. Gerardo, when he went shopping for the meat, he didn't ask her what kind of meat she liked, and she's still pissed about it, even though she's already told him that bothered her and he apologized. She's still complaining about it, and it's girl, let it go. But Fernanda seems to not be able to let anything go, and so they had a fight before the bachelorette parties and were just mad and complaining to he was complaining to the boys, she was complaining to the girls. Right before they left for the party, she had asked him, "Are you in love with me?" And he said no. Her temper has just been a really all over the place during this experiment, so I don't blame him. He's not sure if they're compatible. He's telling the boys that. He's telling them that he doesn't want to have sex every day, and she does, and she feels like they've been married 20 years. Also at the bachelorette party, Fernanda resolves her beef with Silvia, which we never really found out what it was about, and I think they were kind of drunk at that point and they were just hugging it out, so I guess they worked it out on the remix. Fernanda's too busy being pissed at Gerardo to be pissed at anyone else at this point. And there's one point where the bachelorette and bachelor parties join up, which kind of defeats the purpose, but whatever, anything goes. When Fernanda and Gerardo see each other there, they greet each other super passive aggressively and they're still pissed. After this party, they have this horrible fight where it's basically one-sided. Fernanda's just yelling, cursing him out, saying she's done with this experiment, done with him. The English subtitles were watering down what she was saying. She's just berating him and cursing at him. It's really aggressive. She got really scary. And this made for very interesting TV. I mean, it's one of those raw moments that's very uncomfortable on TV, but it's raw, so you can't look away. And she tries to make you look away because she puts a blanket over the automated camera, but then it moves around and the blanket falls, and she's basically kicking him out, but then she's packing her stuff too, and she's the one that ends up leaving. She just needs help to figure out her emotions and regulate them, and he was just kind of caught in the crossfire. I mean, I don't think he's a good guy throughout the whole season. he was like being really shady and being very like pretentious about other people. But like in his relationship, he always treated her really well, but obviously after that they broke up, and they broke up during that fight and did not come back together. They actually have this closure conversation in the interview room where they do their like talking heads, and the producers ask Fernanda if she wants to have like a closure moment with Gerardo, and she says yes, and they hug it out, and they seem like really cordial and sweet there, and are both very like loving seeming to each other. And I'm just like, oh, this is toxic, like y'all need to be apart. She does mention she doesn't regret choosing him. Like, I think she has her own problems, and honestly, the worst thing about this is that she had this tantrum and these temper moments documented on camera on international streaming service, like, que vergüenza, or as the fresas would say, que oso, because I think that's going to be hard to live down, you know? It's like everyone saw that. And like, did she think because she covered the camera they're not going to use that? Like, that's the juiciest fight ever. Like, why wouldn't they use that? It's always interesting when someone on reality TV loses it like completely to the point where they don't care they're on camera. Like, that's when you get the real human experience documented. But also, like, you gotta be so gone for you to just ignore that there's a camera there and there's an audience there. And I think she's gonna regret that. She doesn't regret picking Gerardo, but she's gonna regret, I think, having that showing on TV. I'm glad at least this happened before they got married, but I think he was already sensing it, and I think he would have said no if they did make it to the altar. That was wild to witness. And next, let's talk about Fernando and Karen, who are only successful couple from Love is Blind Mexico. Congratulations to them. I hope they have a long, happy, and healthy marriage. I was kind of worried because we left off on the cliffhanger that his ex called and he was being all coy about it, and then Karen confronted him like, do you even want to get married anymore? But Karen gets pissed because this is giving her anxiety and she wants to go smoke a cigarette, and he doesn't like that. And they start fighting again about the cigarette, which I predicted was going to come back around, of course. Because as small of a thing as it is, it's also a not so small thing. She's just mad at him putting like a all or nothing condition on her. But then they end up compromising eventually, and he says, whatever, it's fine, just as long as you try. She's fine with that. And they have sex real quick and make up. We have an awkward hand on headboard moment to indicate that. So I was feeling shaky on this couple going into wedding day, even though Karen has emphasized that Emmy really likes him, and he really loves Emmy and is really happy to step up, be a dad to her. And at their weddings, Emmy is so adorable. They got a few kids in the wedding parties, like, talking to the camera, and it was so sweet. Love is Blind Mexico actually did an interesting technique that I don't think I've seen before. They were cutting back and forth around the weddings. In the US Love is Blind, we see one wedding and we see their entire wedding prep, talking to the families, then wedding, then decision. And this was like cutting back and forth through the different couples. So they were cutting around Fernando and Karen, and they left their wedding to the very end, which makes sense because they were the only ones who said yes. It was really cute. Fernando shouted out Emmy as part of the vows and even brought her up to the altar and gave her a gift, a bracelet. It was all really cute, really sweet, adorable. God bless Fernando and Karen for being the only couple to keep this franchise afloat right now, because I was really thinking it was going to be nobody. And it almost was if it weren't for them. I hope they last, and I am so curious to know what this bonus episode is going to be and if we're going to see them and any progression. So next is Chema and Silvia, and they had the unprecedented wedding outcome that was very interesting. So at the bachelorette party, Chema finally has this confrontation with Alejandra, and they meet, and Chema is being kind of flirty. I mean, and I saw a lot of comments about Chema's accent, and those of you that can notice it, and we're wondering if like he's putting on this accent or acting for the camera, because it's like a very extreme accent, but like, no, this is a real accent. Sorry to break it to you. In real life, it's just the majority of Mexicans you meet are not gonna have this accent. It's like a very niche demographic that has it, and it's like usually with upper class or wannabe upper class people that have it. I wasn't sure when I talked about the accent, like if you don't speak Spanish, if you can hear an accent, because I feel like when I listen to a language I don't know, I can't tell someone's accent because I don't understand the language. But I think Chema's is so extreme that even some of y'all that like don't know the language can still tell that it's there. Your average Mexican will not have that accent, and there's a lot of different regional accents in Mexico too. But yeah, Chema's accent is very real, and the way he treated Alejandra, they were very jokey. I mean, it was fine. I don't think she was a threat. I thought at first she would be, because they were very like jokey about it, almost like in a flirty way, but also that's just how Mexicans are. Like, it's just a little more playful. Especially in like this environment where they're like at the club, they're drinking. Chema in particular seemed pretty wasted at the bachelor parties. And Alejandra totally is shady, and I mean, she lived up to how much she said she loved the drama in the pods, but she was saying that him and Silvia make a very peculiar pair, and like she doesn't see it basically, and it's like, girl, stay in your lane. And Alejandra also has a one-on-one with Silvia, and Silvia's so chill and cool. They have a very friendly conversation. Honestly, Silvia was mostly just annoyed because she wanted to keep dancing and Alejandra pulled her for a conversation. Silvia tells her to stop worrying about her own feelings, like Silvia's feelings, and Alejandra just keeps like being weird with her. But it's like, why were you talking shit over with Chema anyway? I don't know. They like pretend to pull each other's hair. They're very jokey. They seem all good. And yeah, Alejandra doesn't seem like she's trying to get Chema back, because in the pod she made it seem like she was gonna come like wait for him forever and all these romantic things. And I think she just got swept up in the romance. She mentioned she's a very like romance, fairy tales, and rainbows person, and I think she just got swept up in all that. So we get to their wedding, and they had kind of like a cool castle vibe kind of wedding. I'm not sure if it was a castle. There are castles, I think, in Mexico. I've been to a castle in Mexico City before. Very beautiful venue. And his severe mom is back, and she's there looking scary and telling him, basically trying to convince him without being obvious about it, to say no. Both Chema and Silvia feel very at peace, feel very chill, and in hindsight, I guess that makes more sense, because they get to the altar and they say nothing. At the I do's, they run away together. I was so pissed because they cut away right after that to like another wedding. I was like, no, go back. I want to know what happened there and what the fuck that was. I was so confused. The guests were all confused. Eventually, they finally cut back to them, and they just run off to the side, and they're like, we're doing this on our own terms, and woohoo, I love you, blah, blah, blah. And so I think what actually happened, the decision was that they're going to keep dating, but not get married in this tight timeline, which seems like a rational response to this experiment. But at the same time, it's like, you signed up for Love is Blind, where there's a wedding at the end, and you just played all of us. I enjoy the stunt. I will say that. I think I'm less annoyed than maybe the average person. But at the same time, it's like, you just wasted all our time. And and a lot of people are not going to forgive that. And, you know, she's a model. He's a little rich boy poker player. They are just trying to like get clout and get none of the responsibility if they said yes, and none of the humiliation if they had said no. So they're trying to like finagle the system in a way. And in a way, I respect that. I love shooting an arrow into the arena ceiling and watching it shatter a bit. I like when the experiment breaks, because it's interesting as like a reality TV fan. You know, American producers would have never let this shit slide. Like, they would have cut them right out of the show, labeled them as Pod Squad, and call it a day. American producers don't play around, and I think it shows that the production was just not tight on Love is Blind Mexico in pretty much every way. Like from the casting to the storytelling to the editing, it was just lacking. And I think Chema and Silvia just took advantage of that. They could pull one over on production like this and just pull a stunt, and felt like maybe there would be no consequences, and there really weren't any consequences. They weren't cut out of the show. They had a lot of airtime, a lot of screen time. They were definitely like main characters of the season. I just don't think the production was equipped for any deviance from the experiment. So props to them for trying. I mean, I think my reality TV fangirl overrides my Love is Blind purist beliefs, because I like to see a reality TV show go a little haywire. But I can see why this decision would piss a lot of people off, and even their friends and family, they're all pissed. They wasted all their time trying to convince them to say no. And no, I think the family, actually, they're probably just really happy that they didn't get married. But yeah, I mean, in what world was Chema, who's like this upper class, snooty, privileged man, gonna just get married on a whim? If and when Chema does get married, I feel like it's gonna be a more strategic, like, where she's like a girl from like a certain family, and not like an arranged thing, but just like, it's gonna be very approved by all the parents. And that's if he even gets married. So next we have Irais and Rene. And this couple was one of the more like traditional outcomes that we've seen on Love is Blind, where they get to the altar and someone says no, and that's that. Irais remained consistent. So it was only in her reveal where she really like put me off and made me concerned about the type of person she was, but she ended up being very set on Rene. Her family was very like excited and really hoping he would say yes, and she wasn't sure, and her little sisters were really cute too. They were also interviewed, and they were really hopeful, and I feel bad. I feel like those were the only kids that saw a heartbreak no happen. Irais' little sister, like, give her the Best Supporting Actress award for this season because she led the whole toast of the bridal party, and it was so eloquent and adorable. And on Rene's side, we already know his family does not approve. His sisters are there, and they're trying to be supportive, but they're also still trying to tell him, like, please, are you sure? Just really think about this decision. This time, the sisters with their outfits are giving that houses meme on like Venice Beach or whatever in LA. And Rene's dad did not attend in the end, which was kind of a downfall here. Rene was playing too much because he told the mom, like, Irais is pregnant. He implied it. The mom was like extra mad because she wishes that were true. She wants grandchildren so bad. So at the altar, they had the garden wedding set up. The officiants like kind of standing behind a bar, which was kind of fun. It looked like a bar. I really liked the decor of the weddings. Honestly, all of them were very nicely done. I will give them that. So he is the first to be asked, like, I do or I don't, and Rene says no. That he's not ready for this next step, but he's still very down to continue a relationship. The smug face of the sister when Rene says no, hilarious. She's like, hell yeah. She's so smug about it. Irais is pretty shocked at first. She says she was intending to say yes, but eventually she does agree to continue the relationship. We'll see. I mean, I'm curious to know if they continued or not. I don't know. I still feel like their lifestyles are very incompatible, so I don't think they'll work out long term. But we'll see. I mean, Irais seemed all in. They at least didn't have any like toxic fights where they're cursing each other out. Or anything like that. They always stay respectful to each other. And finally, Willy and Francesca. Oh my god, they were the ones I was rooting for the most, and then they had a disastrous ending. So she had a very similar blow up to Fernanda. It kind of makes sense. They're like best friends in these pods. At the bachelor parties, they're both feeling very distant from each other. She feels like she's always the bad guy. He always makes her feel like the bad guy. And they're just kind of not in the best place as a couple. After the party, they get in this big fight because he mentions like, oh, I don't think we're compatible, actually. And he says that a few times throughout the night. And that is the straw that breaks the camel's back. And she starts yelling at him. Similar to Fernanda, honestly, very similar. Though Willy does like confirm that she doesn't intellectually stimulate him enough, which is like not something you want to say to a woman that's already heated. But yeah, like she gets so pissed, and she's like, she just treats him like he's dirt, and he is so like dumb. I get them confused because Fernanda and Francesca had like the same fight at the same time. Like she's also telling him to grow some balls and put on the pants, and she kicks him out of the apartment. Actually, fully, she kicks him out. But then I think they like text or call each other, and he comes back to the apartment, and they cooled off, and then they like make out. And I was like, wait, what? So very different ending than Fernanda and Gerardo. Still very worrisome and toxic, and the way she spoke to him is pretty, it's a giant red flag that, of course, I think is a total deal breaker for him, even though he was already feeling like they were not compatible. And we actually see another date of theirs that I think he put together in like a theater, and she talks about her private school in Italy when she was 4 and fell in love with theater. The privilege jumped out. They actually seemed really good on this date, and I was kind of like thrown off because they seemed good, and they came back after that fight, even though I don't think he should have. But then at the wedding, they both seemed really like peaceful and like happy, but in like a suspicious way. Like especially for him, because as we know, he was anxious the entire experiment. Even his family seems to say, oh, he seems like he finally has clarity about this. And to me, I was like, oh, he decided to say no, obviously. He wouldn't be this at peace with saying yes. He would be an anxious ball of nerves from what we've seen. Also, I don't think Mila, her daughter, was there at all in her wedding party or at the wedding. I could be mistaken and missed it, but I don't think she was, and I think that's the ultimate bad sign that obviously she wasn't saying yes either. So yeah, they get to the altar and we get to the vows, and they both basically wrote the first diss track vows. Not really. We've had vows that were critical before, like Deep D's with Shake, and I think Zenab and Cole had something like that. But they were both super shady. I mean, her vows start with saying she's not down to get married, that she can fly higher than him, that he needs to grow some wings. She says all that in her vows, and then, well, they're not vows at that point, they're just, you know, a breakup letter. Then he reads his, and they're kind of similar, except he's saying, oh, we're incompatible, and that's her trigger word, so she's like pissed about it. Their vows matched completely, so maybe they are compatible after all, but they were both saying, screw you, I'm over it, bye. And all the parents approve of that decision. So do I. I mean, I think it's for the best. They were incompatible, as Willy said a million times. So that was the weddings, and it was what I expected, but I did not expect all like the different ways they happened. And like, I expected a lot of no's, but Fernanda and Gerardo didn't even make it to the altar. Chema and Silvia ran away, ? Irais and Rene had a more typical one yes, one no. And then Willy and Francesca both had vows like breaking up and just trying to get jabs at each other. I knew there'd be a lot of no's, but the way they happened were definitely unprecedented and surprising and fun in different ways. It definitely made this season more fun and chaotic, and I think I enjoyed it more by the end. I feel like with Love is Blind, I'm always like this meme. The left side is me during the pod phase, and the right side is me during the end and the weddings. It just gets more fun to like see how it actually plays out. So let me know what you thought of the outcomes of Love is Blind Mexico. I do want to cover this bonus episode, so let's jump to the future for that. So the bonus episode ended up being a reunion, so I thought it would be fun to react to it in real time. Also, I did forget to give my disclaimer. This video, I don't know what's wrong with me. I never forget. We are just judging real people, especially on Mexico. things got kind of wild with the contestants, so no need to send hate to anybody. It's just a show, and at least let's be grateful they gave us a messy reality TV season. Vamos a ver esta reunión. What? Excuse me? Karen is pregnant? Question mark? That's one way to start a reunion. They better not be playing in our faces. ¿Qué pasó? We got a lot of questions here because so many of them said they would stay together without getting married, but I'm not buying it. Lucy always sounds like she's reading a teleprompter for those non-Spanish speakers. I don't know if you can tell. Who's he? Las parejas. Let's do a tutor boot. Toot. Karen looks good. Toot, Silvia. Okay, Irais. She's a little over the top. Oh my god, Francesca, what is she wearing? It looks a little bit like unfinished. I do like the pink, I will say. Yeah, I agree. Everyone went to the gym. Wait, where's Fernanda and Gerardo? Question mark. Oh, there they are. There's Gerardo with my Fer. Ooh. No vino Fernanda? I mean, with the oso she made, like, no thank you. Oh my god. I forgot about the run. Cigarro. They translated to cigar. It's cigarettes, people. They have a reunion circle in this. Oh, it's like a circle of truth in the middle. What? The circle's gonna tell us if they're together or not. Y'all, I'm sensing a boob job here. This is so suspenseful. Okay. That was unnecessarily suspenseful, but okay. Okay, they have a business, girl boss, and they moved in together into an apartment. They're asking about the ex. Okay, he says he cut off the exes. Oh yeah, the pregnancy. Wait, she doesn't look pregnant. No one. Oh. She has an IUD. Why would he say they're having the first of his blind child? She was probably just hungover. She took a pregnancy test. See, I told y'all she had too much wine. So they're asking her about the carne asada fight. See, she said she had a lot of wine. Oh, Irais has something to say. Irais is saying like the timeline is messed up. Okay, so Irais is talking about a moment where they cleared it up in the pods and they hugged it out. They're arguing about the semantics of like, did she propose or like declare her love or not? I think she kind of did. I mean, it was just kind of her last-ditch effort. She gave the gifts. Rocio's just on the side looking like she got screwed in the crossfire. She's blaming it on the edit. Rene is a doll. Rene maintains he likes his story with Irais. This does not faze him. So in this reunion, they brought like 2 commentators on the side. These commentators, I think their job is to have like opposite opinions on things. Rocio. We gotta get Rocio's head of the story. Yeah, see, everyone turned on Rocio because they labeled her a chismosa when she was just reporting. But it's never good to be the chismosa on dating shows. No one believed her. She had the hive mind against her. Is Irais a lawyer? Am I making that up? This is making a lot of sense because she like got everyone on her side, including Fernando, all the girls. Irais is like rolling her eyes at Rocio. The commentator told Rocio, like, said her tears were like an actress. Does she buy the tears? She said, it's valid, basically. Okay, Francesca is the spokesperson for the women, and they do feel bad for ganging up on her. Irais, not so much, but I did hear on a podcast, Silvia said, like, the girls apologized afterwards to Rocio. Right now, she's kind of, like, corroborating that. Chema's been awfully quiet so far. Okay, yeah, we're moving to Chema and Silvia. Oh, we're gonna hear from Alejandra. She's there. Ugh. The running away. I'm gonna bet they're not together. That's my guess. That circle's gonna turn red. Okay, scenes from after. The circle of trust is hilarious and a random ass idea. That commentator's mocking his accent. There's no way they're so together. It's gonna be red. Ah! I knew it. ¿Qué pasa, desgracia? I love Silvia so much. Yeah, them running away from the wedding was a cop-out. Oh, God. Chema. Okay, the commentator is asking the real question, so maybe they're not such a bad idea. Because they kept talking about how much love they have between each other, but they want to get to the bottom of the breakup. He had to fix personal matters. He's public apologizing for the birthday thing. Okay. That's all for appearances, I think. Oh, he's a fashion expert. And he did it at her birthday dinner. She forgave him, but we don't. Was there someone else? He's single. Okay. Surprise, surprise. Okay, Silvia seems a little bitter about the running away and why he signed up for the show where he knew it ends in marriage. See, Silvia saying she knew what she was signing up for. Yeah, he was always saying this experiment, the show was a challenge for himself, not a place to find a wife, you know. And she's mad that he was looking at her as a challenge, and he's trying to dig his way out of that hole. He wanted to test if he was a visual person when dating. She asked if he likes her physically, and he said yes. I don't know. They're gonna play all the shady shit everyone was saying about them. Oh, I didn't expect this, but obviously this is what they're doing. Oh, poor Silvia. She has to see everyone saying she's a troll. Thank you, the commentator, complimenting her beauty. Thank you, because everyone was so rude. Yeah, I mean, everyone was going by what Chema had said he liked, but it was still shady. Everyone's backtracking. Fernando's backtracking. Yeah, her opinion is what matters. She spilled. Good. I'm glad the commentators gave her the last word, and she's very eloquent. Okay, we're gonna hear from Alejandra, opera singer. She's got some new red highlights. She's debuting. Okay, she's acknowledging her Chema relationship was a fantasy in the pods. She's a good sis to Silvia. Well, she did say they're a bad couple, but, okay. We're letting it go. Okay, we're moving on to Irais and Rene. I also predict a no here from the Circle of Truth. Yeah, Chema and Silvia, it wasn't quite clear what happened with their breakup. It was just kind of like he stopped inviting her into his personal matters and didn't work, and they kept it real vague. I think he just wasn't for real about any of this. Now we're getting the montage of how incompatible Irais and Rene are. Oh, I don't want to see the reveal again. This is so sad. No. The tearful no. Ah, the smug face. So they went places. Okay, after. Oh god, I'm nervous. I can't with the circle. The circle threw me for a loop. Ah, I knew it! Ah, tragic. See, like, if they don't get married, they're not gonna, like, try that hard. Oh, they were long distance. I don't remember. I thought they both lived in Mexico City. Oh, he lived in Guadalajara. Okay, yeah. They were just on different pages, long distance. Okay, did the sisters influence anything? No. He said no. Okay, they're asking her about the reveal reaction, because that's what social media cares about. Okay, she had prepped him in the pods that she did not want a vulgar kiss. So she's saying Rene's physical attributes reminded her of her abuser, which is really heavy. Que fuerte. So they omitted it from the show because she didn't want that to, like, taint his image, but now she finds it necessary to confess this because social media's reaction, everyone's wondering. She apologized to him and is apologizing publicly now. She recognized it was not a right reaction, not good reaction. But yeah, we don't know people. That's the thing on these shows. Like, we have such limited information about them. Fernanda? They keep asking Gerardo if Fernanda's here, and how is he supposed to know? Oh, Lord. They're going back to Saul and Letty and what happened. We saw what happened. It was weird. What? She's still wearing the ring? Okay, she's just wearing the ring as a memento of the TV show. I'd be the same way, I feel like. I'd be, like, keeping mementos. Okay, this is the reunion of the public apologies. He's publicly apologizing for his aggressive reveal. She's acknowledging she could have set boundaries before the reveal. She's saying the first night was where she was most hurt, and she's upset Saul was bragging to Gerardo that she was provoking him. She's calling him out. Oh, she's calling him out. Not letting him slide with his little apology. Well, because he was putting a lot on her about, like, she's teasing, provoking. This is her fault. It's not working because of her. He acknowledges his wrongdoings and apologized. It's all you can do at this point. I mean, they're not together or anything, so. Okay, now we have Willy and Francesca, which they don't need to go to the Circle of Truth. We know. Oh, we get a new scene with Willy and Gerardo. The topic of money. She was being vague. She's rich, I'm pretty sure. Oh my god, she had the Maria logic that the man pays for everything. Is this 1860? I mean, different strokes for different folks, but why did they not talk about this in the pods? It's just in this economy. That's the only thing. Like, we live in a two-income society, unfortunately. Inflation, you know? Okay, the commentator, I'm into it. He grills them. I mean, it's fair, but she comes from such a rich family, and, like, also, this is something you iron out in the pods, because then you get out of the pods, and then the guy's like, wait, what? And why is she mad when he says they're incompatible when she was vague about money stuff, especially in the pods. So Willy is saying, like, he was rich from 2 incomes growing up, and Francesca saying she was rich and privileged from 1 income of her father. It's very like the Maria and Tom from UK situation. I mean, yeah, they're looking for different things. Uh-oh, Fernanda is in the back. Okay, we're getting to Gerardo and Fernanda. I did hear, and some of y'all commented maybe, that Silvia had a strong connection with Gerardo in the pods, and that's why Fernanda and Silvia had beef. Maybe they're going to get to that here. But that's what it was. And I'm just like, why did you not edit in that Silvia had a connection with Gerardo when it was relevant to the plot for the entire season? Anyway, my fed is basically like, I'm a bitch and I know it. Give me attention. Love that. So Gerardo and my fed dated a bit. And they kissed? What does that mean? What? Oh my god, someone from the pods passed away. And they saw each other at the funeral and then got drinks. She wants to go in the circle. Oh my god, they're going in the circle. They're acting like it's impromptu, but like, can that be impromptu? Okay, yeah, the circle's not prepared. They're doing it manual. Okay, hug men not together. She's coming? Oh my god. The trauma. Oh. Gerardo goes to the opposite side of the couch. Oh, they're asking her opinion about him and Mefed. Who cares? She hated him. Why is everyone shitting on Mefed? Who cares what he did after Fernanda treated him like that? Why are they putting them in the circle? Oh my god. This is so dumb. Okay, so the circle is pointless. They acknowledge that. And now they're gonna have a confrontation. Let's fight to the death. I think she is gonna go punch him. Oh my god. She's saying every time there's a camera, he was singing. I mean, she chewed a little bit, but she also was crazy. He's denying. He's a clout chaser. She has no defense. She was wild. She is scary. She's turning it a lot on him, and yet he could have done worse things, or he could have done better. But, like, compared to her, come on, girl. I mean, I think he never lost his cool, and she cannot say that much. No. Oh, Matt, why is he asking him? Fernanda came in swinging for what? Oh, no. Here comes Francesca trying to give something to Willy. I bet it's going to be shady. She's giving him back his family heirloom, but he insists it's a gift, so she should keep it. No. I knew there was going to be a diss in here, knowing her. She's saying this cedar is strength and blah, 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 and he needs it more than she does. They are so shady with each other. Oh my god, the commentator takes it because they're both just... I can't with them. They're so, like, so stubborn. Okay, well, we get a Karen and Fernando recap to soften the mess. Is love blind? Oh. Everyone else is like, nope, fuck that. We need bitchy commentators in the US one too. Ew, why is he grabbing her ass? Sir, that was a reunion. That was wild. Well, nothing too surprising, but a few gags and a few fun, like, differences from the US. The circle of truth, the commentators that were bitchy and were asking the right questions sometimes. Even though, like, I don't like that they didn't acknowledge Fernanda or Francesca's, like, blow-ups because they were pretty severe, especially from what we've seen on Love is Blind. We rarely have seen, like, a tantrum that big. A lot of people were apologizing for ways they went wrong and things they were embarrassed by when watching the show, but they were not apologizing, so I guess we know where they stand. Here's to another Love is Blind season. Let's toast. So that was my review of season 1 of Love is Blind Mexico. I hope you enjoyed yourself and enjoyed the ride. As much as I criticized it, I enjoyed it a lot because I was able to criticize. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. I put out new videos whenever I feel like it about TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things. And you can follow me at Miscellaneous on Instagram or Twitter to keep up with me, or just turn on the bell notification here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!